Hello and good morning, boys and girls. It is Miss Olvera. So we are week 4, day 2 of our daily read out louds. Now, we are going to continue with our chapter book. So yesterday we read chapters 1 and 2 of Mr. Will Needs to Chill. So we will read chapters 3 and 4 today. So we left off with one of them going under the fence and going to, where were they going? Do you remember? What was happening? Okay, so let's get started. Okay, ready? So chapter 3, it is called Ice Cream is Ice Cream. Look, here's the picture. Who is that? It's AJ. And what do they call AJ? They call him Arlo. Okay, it says ice cream is ice cream. I ran over to the ding-dong truck and pulled the coins out of my pocket. I need ice cream, I shouted to Mr. Will. Fast! Well, you came to the right place, AJ, he replied. What can I get for you? I'm in a hurry, I said. I'll just have an ice cream cone. Great, said Mr. Will. Chocolate or vanilla? Chocolate. Soft serve or hard ice cream? Asked Mr. Will. Soft. Wafer, waffle, or sugar cone? Wafer! Can we, move along? Dipped or undipped? Undipped. Sprinkles? Sure, whatever. Chocolate or rainbow sprinkles? Rainbow, either way, I don't care. There's just one problem, AJ, said Mr. Will. Well, what's the problem? I asked. I don't have any ice cream cones today. What? Why didn't you tell me that before? Well, you didn't ask, said Mr. Will. On the other side of the fence, the gang was shouting, Hurry up! Hurry up! I looked at the little pictures of the ice cream on the side of the ding-dong truck. Okay, I told Mr. Will, I'll have a crushed cherry sundae. Sorry, I'm out of those too, he replied. How about a lemon berry slushie float? I asked Mr. Will. I just sold the last one. A popsicle? Fudgesicle? Creamsicle? Dreamsicle? I asked Mr. Will. Out of stock. Milkshake? Ice cream sandwich? Banana boat? Nope. Turbo rocket? Choco taco? Dip and roll? Not today. Sorry. I wasn't getting anywhere. Time was running out. Recess would be over soon. Well, what kind of ice cream do you have then? I asked Mr. Will. Well, let me see, he said, looking into the freezer. How about an octopus push-up pop? Octopus, I said. Ugh! It's not octopus flavored, said Mr. Will. It just looks like an octopus. Okay, I said. I'll take anything. Ice cream is ice cream. That will be 79 cents, said Mr. Will. And I'm good at math. I pulled out 3 quarters and 4 pennies and gave him the coins. He handed me the octopus push-up pop. I started running back to the fence, but I couldn't resist. I had to take a bite of the push-up pop first. So I stopped for a second and I ripped off the wrapper, and the push-up pop was the most beautiful thing with red and blue swirls. I was about to take my first bite. And then that's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. Suddenly, I heard a loud siren and whistles behind me. Hands up! A voice shouted through a bullhorn. We've got you surrounded! I put my hands in the air. Drop the push-up pop and nobody gets hurt, the voice shouted. I turned around and it was Dr. Carbles. I've seen enough movies in my life to know that when someone tells you to drop what you have in your hand, look, there's this octopus pop. So when someone tells you to drop what you have, you should always say, Who's gonna make me? Who's gonna make me? I asked. I am, shouted Dr. Carbles. I've seen enough movies in my life to know that when somebody says they're going to make you, you should always say, You and what army? You and what army? I said. Me and this army, shouted Dr. Carbles, and at that moment, A bunch of big goons in military uniforms. They came around the corner and they looked mean, and they had some angry barking dogs with them. I've seen enough movies in my life to know that when an army actually shows up, you should always shout, "You'll never take me alive!" And then you should make a run for it. Oh boy, look at this. There's those dogs going after Arlo or AJ. And look at the hole. Look at the hole that they had dug for him. So he ran. You'll never take me alive," I shouted, and then I made a run for it. I was heading for the hole under the fence. "Get him, boys," shouted Dr. Carbles. "Release the dogs." I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I had to think fast. "Run for your life, AJ!" shouted Neil. Everybody was yelling and screaming and shrieking and hooting and hollering, "Ooh, AJ, AJ!" And I ran to the fence as fast as I could. Dr. Carble's goons and their dogs, they were chasing me. And they grabbed me just before I got back to the hole that we dug. "Up against the fence, AJ!" shouted Dr. Carbles. "Step away from the push-up pup." Okay, I give up." And that is the end of chapter 3. Chapter 4, it's called Martial Law. You probably think Dr. Carbles locked me in a torture chamber and pulled my eyelashes out one at a time as I set my toenails on fire. Well, he didn't do any of those things. He just made me write this 100 times in my notebook. I will not sneak under the fence and go get ice cream for the ding-dong truck. I will not sneak under the fence and go get ice cream from the ding-dong truck. I will not... And he kept doing that for how many times? 100 times. Bummer in the summer. It took me all weekend to finish. My hand hurt. It was the worst weekend of my life, and I wanted to go to Antarctica and go live with the penguins. When I got to school on Monday morning, it was different. There was barbed wire across the top of the playground fence, and at each corner of the school, there was a guard tower. The guard towers, they had security cameras and searchlights on them, and mean-looking goons in the uniforms were patrolling the playground with attack dogs. "This is bad," said Ryan when I saw him on the front steps. "It looks like Dr. Carbles is turning our school into a prison," said Neil. "How do you think he got those guard towers over the weekend?" asked Michael. "He must have gone to rent a guard tower," I guessed, because you can rent anything. "I hope Mr. Klutz and Mrs. Jaffe come back from principal camp soon," said Alexia. So we went inside the school and we walked 1,100,000 miles to Mr. Cooper's class. He didn't look happy and excited like he usually does. He just sat at his desk, staring off into space. That's when the morning announcements came over the loudspeaker, and it was the voice of Dr. Garbles. "It will be cloudy and depressing today," he announced. "Lunch will be dried mush. There are no birthdays today or ever again. Birthdays are for losers." "What?" "Boo!" Everyone started shouting. "There will be no sneaking over to the ding-dong truck during recess. And from now on, recess is canceled. Recess is for losers." "What?" "Boo!" Everyone shouted. "Maybe we can go to the ding-dong truck after school lets out this afternoon," whispered Michael hopefully. "And you can forget about going to the ding-dong truck after school lets out," Dr. Carbles announced. "I got a restraining order against Mr. Will, and he is not allowed to come within 500 feet of the school anymore. And so nobody gets ice cream. Not on my watch." What did watches have anything to do with anything? Why would anybody put ice cream on a watch? That would be weird. "I wonder when we'll be able to get ice cream again," whispered Emily. "You can forget about getting ice cream for the rest of your life," said Dr. Garbles. "What?" "Boo!" shouted everyone. Boys and girls, I want you all to go, boo! Wow, it's almost as if Dr. Carbles can hear us talking, whispered Andrea. I heard that, said Dr. Carbles. Mr. Cooper's students had better stop whispering to each other or they'll all be in very big trouble. He put a bug in our room? Whispered Andrea. Gross! I shouted, looking inside my desk. I hate bugs! Not those kinds of bugs, dumbhead, said Andrea. Dr. Carbles planted a microphone somewhere in here, so he's listening to every word that we say. That's right, said Dr. Carbles, so you better watch your P's and Q's. Huh? Why would we watch those letters? It doesn't make any sense. I'm afraid, said Emily, who's afraid of everything. But I was afraid too, because we all were. Finally, the morning announcements, they were finished, and I looked over at Mr. Cooper to see what he was going to teach us, but he just sat there with his head on his desk. What are we going to work on this morning, Mr. Cooper? Asked Andrea. Social studies? No. Reading? No. Nah. Do you want us to turn to page 23 in our math books? Whatever. I don't care. Oh, no. That was weird. Mr. Cooper loves teaching us stuff. And after a few minutes, he told us that it was time for phys ed with Miss Small. Yay, I love phys ed. We walked 1,100,000 miles to the gym, and when we got there, Miss Small didn't even look happy either. She was sitting on the floor under the basketball hoop. Are we going to play basketball this morning, Miss Small? I asked. No. Are we going to have relay races? Asked Alexia. No. Just go out on the playground and do whatever you want. Miss Small muttered. I'm not in the mood. Wow. None of the teachers wanted to teach. With Dr. Garbles in charge, they just looked sad. So we did what we were told. We went over to the playground, and you'll never believe, in 1,100,000 years, what happened next. There was that sound in the distance, a jingly, jangly sound. It was the ding-dong truck. He's back! I shouted. Mr. Will is back. Hooray! Everyone shouted as the ding-dong truck pulled up and Mr. Will stepped out of it. That's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. A tank came rolling down the street. Not a fish tank, because it'd be weird if a fish tank came rolling down the street. No, it was one of those army tanks with a cannon in front. I saw it with my own eyes. Well, it would be pretty hard to see something with somebody else's eyes. So then the tank stopped close to the ding-dong truck, and the hatch on the top opened up, and guess whose head popped out of it? Yes, it was Dr. Carbles. You are breaking the law, ding-dong man, he shouted through the bullhorn. Get out of here and turn off that horrible music. No way, Mr. Will shouted. Did you ever hear of the First Amendment? We have freedom of speech in this country, you know. Your freedom of speech ends at my ears, shouted Dr. Carbles. Well, your students want ice cream, said Mr. Will. I don't care what my students want, Dr. Carbles shouted. If you don't get out of here right this minute, I will make you leave. It looked like there was going to be a big fight. Like maybe Mr. Will was going to shoot soft serve ice cream out of a hose on the ding-dong truck. That would be so cool. I don't like violence, said Andrea. It's inappropriate for children. What do you have against violins? I asked her. Not violins, Arlo. Violence. I knew that. I was just yanking Andrea's chain. But there was no battle. Mr. Will didn't spray Dr. Carbles with ice cream. He just walked back to his ding-dong truck and he slowly drove away. "Don't come back here again," said Dr. Carbles. "I will crush your pathetic ice cream." There's nothing we could do but watch through the fence. Dr. Carbles, he turned around and he looked at us. "Go back to class, you little punks," he barked. He's mean. Having Dr. Carbles as our principal was worse than TV turnoff week. It was worse than National Poetry Month. It was worse than TV turnoff week and National Poetry put together. As Mr. Will drove off, we could hear the ding-dong jingle fade away in the distance, and for the first time ever, it sounded sad and lonely. That was the end of chapter 4. So, boys and girls, what do you think is going to happen? Because the ding-dong truck cannot be coming to the school. But Mr. Will seems like he really wants to get ice cream to these students. And these students are not having a good time with Dr. Carbles. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. I will be reading chapters 5 and 6, okay? And I hope you enjoyed today's Read Out Loud, boys and girls. And I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. Goodbye.